Hey y'all, welcome to Paige's Perspective, where I help you find your inner strength to cope with life. Today I want to get into the differences between toxic positivity and pivoting. You've probably heard phrases like, just stay positive, or everything happens for a reason, or focus on being grateful. They sound harmless, right? It sounds like a great way to get through shit, but sometimes you'll recognize that it doesn't necessarily work long term, or maybe it doesn't sit right with you from the get-go. When you're living through something painful, like being in a relationship with someone who has harmed you, or you're in an unhealthy environment, or you even had a loss, those words just don't feel helpful. That's because what's being offered isn't actual comfort, it's toxic positivity. So toxic positivity is the belief that we should maintain a positive mindset no matter what we're going through, that good feelings are right and bad feelings are wrong. It's the denial or minimization of authentic emotion in the name of staying positive. It's smiling through pain because you think that's what strong people do. But here's the thing. Pretending to be okay isn't the same as being okay. Positivity becomes toxic when it denies your humanity, when it tells you that your anger, grief, your fear are spiritual failures instead of natural healthy signals from your body that something needs attention. We're meant to feel all sorts of emotions, and if we deny them or put them aside in the name of positivity, they're going to come out in unhealthy ways down the line. Remember, emotions buried alive never die. So how does toxic positivity show up around us? It's everywhere. It's in social media captions. It's in family conversations. It's in your circles with your friends. On social media, it's the perfectly curated quote post that says, good vibes only. I used to have a shirt that said this. Guys, I definitely went into the toxic positivity side of things many years ago, so I know how this works. It's influencers smiling through their burnout saying, you attract what you are, or your mindset creates your reality. And those messages, they actually erase context. They ignore the fact that some people aren't struggling because they're negative. They're struggling because life is genuinely hard right now, and their feelings need to be acknowledged. And if you're in families or friend groups, sometimes it sounds like, oh, it could be worse, or at least he's trying, or at least he's sober, you just have to stay positive, or at least you have a roof over your head, or at least your bills are paid for. These are often said with love, but they can make you second guess your own feelings. They tell you that your pain kind of makes people feel uncomfortable and that you're the problem for feeling it, when in reality, you're just having a normal human response to something overwhelming or harmful. You're being a human. In those moments, toxic positivity doesn't help you move forward. It can keep you stuck. It can have you questioning your own emotions. It is trying to force gratitude when what you really need is validation and possible solutions from those who have been in your shoes. So how does this toxic positivity show up in other programs for spouses of alcoholics or addicts? Let's say that you're told to detach with love. But in practice, that can turn into detaching from reality. You stop reacting, you stop expressing, you stop naming the harm that's happening in front of you because you're told that reacting isn't spiritual or that it fuels the fire. But detachment isn't serenity when it costs you your voice. That's denial. We've discussed how detaching with love is not a tactic that is typically a natural response to being harmed over time. Then there's another one that says, keep the focus on yourself, or only focus on yourself. Again, this can be healthy in the right context, but in many rooms, it means don't name what's wrong. It becomes a way of telling people don't question, don't disrupt the peace, just stay positive, stay in your lane. And that's not empowering. That's silencing you from what's actually going on. I think we do a decent job in our program where we acknowledge the harm being done from your partner, but then focus on yourself to build yourself up. It's not meant to dismiss what is actually happening. If we just focus on ourselves, we're going to begin to dismiss harmful behaviors from others and accept it because you're meant to stay on your side of the street. This is a marriage, guys. We're meant to be in the same lane. We need to understand the power imbalance in the relationship before we can even begin to focus on ourselves. That's how our program Independently Strong is set up. You learn about the relationship dynamics you're in, and then we focus on the steps to take to build yourself up so that you can make decisions that align with your values. That's what makes us a bit different than other programs out there. It's not just about focusing on yourself. You gain some tools to add to your toolbox that are not only helpful if you've been affected by someone in your most intimate relationship, but also in life. We have many wheelies who have made significant changes within many areas of their lives by doing the work and surrounding themselves with those who understand what they're going through. So if you're interested in that, just head over to twfo.com or independentlystrong.com to learn more about our online program. But let's get into some more toxic positivity language that may be used in other programs. Don't be resentful. We've talked about this in a few episodes before, but this one hits a lot of people hard because it's like we're not allowed to feel anger. But anger isn't bad. It's information. It tells you that a boundary has been crossed or that you've been harmed or that something is just not right. When we teach people that resentment is poison instead of a signal, we rob them of the data they need to protect themselves. There's a time to release the resentment and a time to really listen to it. So if you're still in an environment where active addiction or alcoholism are present and the behaviors that go along with that, resentment is necessary to feel change within yourself. It's normal in early recovery as well to have feelings of resentment since it takes time for you to feel safe again. But if you're in a program that is teaching you to remove resentment from your life with someone who is being harmful, still, it's teaching you to tolerate unhealthy behaviors, that harm you. It teaches you to adapt to them. We have to remember these tips and language were created in a time where women specifically didn't have many rights and couldn't leave a harmful marriage easily. So they had to learn how to tolerate and accept the behavior. Times have changed, and we are now allowed to make changes within our own lives that protect us and our children. We have more rights. We don't need to learn how to accept and adapt and tolerate. We need to learn how to acknowledge our feelings, process them, learn from them, and take action from them. So another one that you might hear a lot is let go and let God. It's meant to be comforting, and when used in the right way, it can be. If you're obsessing over someone else's choices or trying to control an outcome that's clearly out of your hands, letting go can bring real peace. But too often this phrase gets used to shut people down. Like you're told to hand everything over to God, but no one explains how to do that or what to do with all the feelings that come with it. So you end up trying to surrender your pain instead of understanding it. You tell yourself you're letting go, but deep down, you're just pushing emotions down because you think that's what faith looks like. You think that if you still feel angry, that you haven't surrendered enough, or if you're still hurt, you must be doing it wrong. That's not letting go. That is bypassing. It's a form of emotional numbing that looks spiritual, but keeps you disconnected from what's real. The truth is, surrender doesn't mean silencing your emotion. It means not letting the emotions run the show. So you can feel angry and still choose to respond instead of react. You can feel grief and still move toward healing. You can hand something over to God while still giving yourself permission to be human. Letting go doesn't mean pretending you're fine. It means acknowledging what's happening, feeling it fully, and then choosing to release what's not yours to carry anymore. That's real surrender. That's the difference between avoiding emotion and processing it. So the message underneath all of it is don't be angry, don't be sad, don't rock the boat, be grateful, be quiet, be serene. But that's not recovery. That's repression. It looks like faith, but it's really just emotional avoidance. So I want to talk about fake it till you make it for just a second. So this is where toxic positivity may get confusing because I actually believe in the fake it till you make it, but not the way it's usually taught. In many programs or sayings out there, it means pretend you're peaceful until you are. Smile, nod, recite slogans, stuff down anything messy. That's performative peace. The way I mean it, what I feel is a healthier version is about practice, not pretending. So it's about acting in alignment with who you want to become, even when your emotions haven't caught up yet. So it's saying, I don't feel confident setting this boundary yet, but I'm going to do it anyway. It's saying I don't fully believe I'm capable, but I'm going to show up for myself anyway. That's not faking it. That's practicing. It's courage in motion. It's rewiring your system to know that you can feel discomfort and still take healthy action. I want to talk about serenity and how it isn't suppression, that it's pivoting. Let's get into the pivoting. So for years, serenity has been sold like a mood, okay? Calm, unbothered, float through life type of energy. But real serenity isn't passive, it's active. It's the power to pivot. So pivoting means I can tell the truth about what's happening and I can still choose how I want to move through it. I can be scared and still take the next right step. I can be angry and still stay aligned with my values. Toxic positivity typically says, don't think about it. Old school serenity says, let go of it. And pivoting says, even if it hurts, I can handle it. That's what serenity really is. It's self-trust. It's the quiet knowing that whatever comes, you can meet it without losing yourself. So you're not faking the calm, you're practicing strength. You're teaching your body and mind that peace isn't pretending everything's okay. The peace is believing that you can face life as it is. So the power of pivoting, seeing the good without pretending everything is good. Pivoting isn't about ignoring what's wrong. It's about expanding your view so you can also see what's still right. It's holding both truths at once. This is hard, and I can still find something meaningful in it. You can still cry in your car and also notice the relief of air on your face when you roll down the window. You can feel disappointment and still be proud of the way you're handling it. You can want things to change and still find a little gratitude in how far you've come. Pivoting is emotional flexibility, the space where you let both things exist. Toxic positivity says, find the bright side. Pivoting says, find the truth and then decide what you want to do with it. It's what allows you to keep your heart soft without abandoning your reality. It's what lets you stay open when life gets messy instead of shutting down to survive. Because you can be heartbroken and hopeful. You can feel exhausted and still show up. You can hold both pain and perspective without invalidating either one. That's the difference between pretending and growing. So what does pivoting look like in everyday life? It looks like saying, I'm struggling right now, but I know this feeling isn't permanent. It looks like taking a deep breath before you respond, even when your body wants to react. It looks like choosing the next right thing, not the perfect thing. Pivoting doesn't mean minimizing what's hard. It means keeping your balance in it. It's the moment you stop trying to control the storm and start focusing on how you move through it. Every time you pivot, you're teaching your brain and your body that safety is possible even in discomfort. That's what builds resilience. So next time you feel off when you read or hear someone say, just stay positive, remember, you're allowed to feel however you're feeling. You can't get through the feelings until you acknowledge them and give them space to feel heard. Pivoting is allowing yourself to have two thoughts at once. I'm struggling, but I will get through it. It's not avoiding, it's accepting and still pushing through. So here's what that actually looks like in real life. You don't say, it's fine, I'll just let it go. You say, that was really hard, but I'm not going to carry it with me all day. You don't say, at least it's not as bad as it could be. You say, this is hard and I'm allowed to feel that. You don't say everything happens for a reason. You say, this doesn't make sense right now, but I'll find meaning in it when I'm ready. You don't say, I shouldn't feel this way. You say, of course I feel this way. Anyone would, but I still get to decide what I do next. That's what pivoting looks like. It's not sugarcoating. It's strength with honesty still attached. So when something uncomfortable comes up, a hard conversation, a moment of disappointment, or even just that wave of, I should be more grateful, stop and notice the instinct to stay positive. Then ask yourself, what would it look like to pivot instead? Share it in the Facebook community. Tell us what you caught yourself doing, the moment you almost minimized, brushed it off, or guilted yourself out of a feeling, and what your pivot looked like instead. It doesn't have to be deep or perfect. It could be as simple as, I stopped saying I'm fine when I wasn't. I took a breath instead of fixing it. I told myself this is hard and I'm still okay. These are pivots. These are wins. And when we start stacking those small pivots day after day, that's when everything starts to change. So this week, don't stay positive, stay present, stay real, and tell us how you pivoted. That's how you build peace that actually lasts. Thank you so much for tuning in. That's all I have for this week. Until next time, I'm Paige. Bye.